Beloved, there are moments in life when the weight of waiting feels heavier than the promise of tomorrow, when the nights seem longer than the days and the soul wonders if the light will ever return. You have been patient, you have endured, you have hoped against hope, and yet the door you have prayed for has seemed locked. The answer you have sought has seemed delayed. The breakthrough you have cried out for has seemed far off in the distance, hidden beyond your reach. But I tell you today, with every fiber of my being, that your breakthrough is not only near, it is here, and it will come suddenly, in a way that will leave you breathless with awe and trembling with gratitude. Life has a way of surprising us, not with cruelty, but with divine timing that we cannot predict and do not control. And though the waiting bruises our faith, it also prepares our hearts to hold the miracle when it arrives. There is a season for sowing, and a season for reaping, a time for silence and a time for song. And though you may have thought your labor was in vain, though you may have felt abandoned and overlooked, heaven has not ignored you. Every tear you shed was counted, every prayer you whispered was heard, every sleepless night you endured became a testimony written in invisible ink, waiting for the right dawn to reveal it. You thought nothing was happening, but deep beneath the soil of your struggle, roots were spreading, foundations were being laid, and answers were gathering in unseen places, ready to pour out when the appointed hour strikes. And when it does, it will not come in fragments or in hesitant drops. It will come suddenly, like a flood that cannot be stopped, like a sunrise that bursts forth after the longest night, like a wind that rushes through the trees and declares that the old has passed and the new has begun. Do not despise the waiting, though it has stretched your patience thin, because it was never wasted. Waiting builds strength in secret places. Waiting bends pride until it breaks into humility. Waiting forces us to wrestle with ourselves, to fight the voices of doubt, to battle the shadows of fear, until we find within us a resilience we never knew we had. Waiting sharpens the spirit. Waiting clears the fog from our eyes and allows us to see what truly matters. You thought the silence was cruel, but the silence was forming a symphony you will soon hear in full. And when your breakthrough comes, you will realize why it had to be this way, why it could not come sooner, why the pieces had to align with such precision. What you thought was a delay was really preparation, and what felt like rejection was really redirection. Every step, even the backward ones, were leading you here to this moment when suddenly everything shifts. And I want you to know that when your breakthrough arrives, it will not knock timidly at your door. It will burst in, unannounced, like a long-awaited guest who has no need for permission, because destiny does not ask politely, it declares itself boldly. The job you thought would never open will call your name. The healing you thought would never touch your body will sweep through like fire and renew your strength. The relationship you thought was broken beyond repair will be mended in a way you could never imagine. The financial chains you thought would never fall will shatter suddenly, and you will stand free, marveling at how swiftly everything changed. What took years of praying will be answered in a moment. What looked impossible will become inevitable, and you will understand that when breakthrough comes, it comes suddenly, because that is the way of divine intervention. You have to hold your head high now, even before it happens, because expectation is the soil in which breakthrough grows. You cannot walk with your shoulders slumped, and your spirit weary, and expect to see the sudden move of God in your life. No, you must rise. You must walk like the answer is already walking toward you. You must speak like the doors are already swinging open. You must live as if the blessing is already here, because faith is not about seeing, it is about believing in the unseen until the unseen becomes visible. Speak to yourself in the dark. Whisper to your weary soul, breakthrough is coming, and then shout to your fear, breakthrough is already here. Let your tongue become a weapon of hope. Let your words paint the future before your eyes. Let your voice declare what your heart dares not yet believe, because the tongue has power, and if you speak breakthrough, you will call it forth. If you believe in its suddenness, you will not be surprised when it overtakes you like a wave. But I must tell you, beloved, breakthrough requires that you be ready to let go of the old. You cannot carry yesterday's burdens into tomorrow's blessings. You cannot cling to bitterness and expect joy to flow freely. You cannot hold on to fear and still embrace freedom. Breakthrough demands that you release, that you surrender, that you loosen your grip on what was, so that your hands are open to receive what is coming. It is not enough to desire change. You must prepare for it. You must unclench your fists, soften your heart, renew your mind, because the suddenness of breakthrough will sweep away what you thought you needed, and replace it with what you truly require. And though it may strip you of certain things you thought you could not live without, it will give you more than you ever dreamed you could possess. You will stand lighter, freer, and more radiant, because breakthrough does not leave you as it found you. It transforms you from the inside out. I want you to imagine the story of your life as a book. You have turned page after page, and some chapters have been heavy, filled with trials and tears. You wondered if the plot would ever change, if the story would ever shift from sorrow to joy. But beloved, the author has written a sudden twist, a moment where everything turns, where the pain is not erased, but is redeemed, where the darkness is not denied but is defeated. That moment is your breakthrough, and it is not waiting in some distant chapter. It is written into the very page you are standing on. Suddenly the plot changes. Suddenly the tide turns. Suddenly the story makes sense, and you realize that every word that came before was leading you to this revelation, this release, this sudden shift that cannot be undone. That is the beauty of breakthrough. It makes the past bearable by giving it meaning, and it makes the future bright by giving it promise. And when your breakthrough comes, do not be surprised if it confuses those around you. Some will marvel and rejoice with you, but others will question how it happened, why it happened to you. They did not see the nights you cried yourself to sleep. They did not feel the weight of the battles you fought alone. They did not know the prayers you whispered when no one else was listening. They did not witness the sacrifices you made, the discipline you kept, the faith you held on to even when it was as fragile as a thread. They will not understand that what looks like sudden favor was actually years of unseen labor. They will not grasp that the suddenness of your blessing was born out of the slow grind of your perseverance. But you will know, you will carry that knowing in your spirit, and it will humble you, and it will strengthen you, and it will remind you never to despise the hidden seasons again. Because you will know that in the unseen, the miraculous is always being prepared. Breakthrough is not only about what happens to you, it is about what happens in you. It will not just change your circumstances, it will change your posture. It will not just open doors, it will open your heart. It will not just bless your hands, it will bless your perspective. Suddenly you will see yourself differently, not as broken but as whole, not as forgotten but as chosen, not as weak but as resilient. Suddenly you will walk differently, with a stride that declares, "I am favored." Suddenly you will speak differently, with words that breathe life into others. Suddenly you will live differently, not in fear of the future but in confidence that the one who brought you breakthrough will not abandon you now. And this transformation will ripple outward, touching not only your life but the lives of those around you. For breakthrough is contagious. When one heart is set free, it ignites freedom in others. When one soul rises, it lifts others higher. When one life is changed suddenly, it testifies that the same can happen for anyone willing to believe. So do not give up now. Do not lay down your dreams. Do not silence your prayers. You are closer than you think, nearer than you know, standing on the edge of suddenly, and suddenly means without warning, without delay, without hesitation. Suddenly means today could be the day, this hour could be the hour, this very moment could be the one where everything shifts. Do not let weariness rob you of wonder. Do not let despair steal your hope. Stay awake, stay alert, stay expectant, because the breakthrough you have longed for is here, and it will happen suddenly. And when it does, it will not just lift you, it will carry you, it will astonish you, it will overwhelm you with joy, and you will say with your own lips, "This was worth the wait. This was worth the struggle. This was worth every single tear." Beloved, when I tell you that your breakthrough is here, and that it will happen suddenly, I am not whispering dreams in your ear to soothe you for a moment. I am declaring truth that is older than your fear and stronger than your doubts. Life bends toward redemption. The universe leans toward restoration. God Himself has written into your journey a season where all that was twisted will straighten, all that was delayed will arrive, all that was withheld will be released, and it will not creep toward you slowly, as though unsure of its place. It will fall upon you like rain after drought, like thunder after silence, like joy after endless sorrow. Do you not feel it rising already, that stirring deep in your chest that tells you something is shifting, something is near, something is pressing against the gates of your life, waiting for the moment they swing wide open? This is not fantasy. This is not empty encouragement. This is the reality of your destiny, and it is closer than the very breath you breathe. Too many times you have wondered if you missed your moment, if you took the wrong turn, if you let the right opportunity slip through your fingers. Too many times you have measured yourself against others who seem to move faster, rise higher, receive sooner, and you have whispered to yourself, "Perhaps my time has passed." But I tell you with a voice that cannot tremble, your time has not passed. It has only been preserved. Like fine wine kept in a dark cellar, like seeds held in the soil until the season is ripe, like a melody waiting for the right singer, your breakthrough has been kept safe, guarded, and waiting for the exact instant when it will burst forth, and no one, not enemy, not rival, not even your own mistakes, can stop it. And when it comes, it will come suddenly, because God does not fumble destiny. He does not make late arrivals. He moves in the fullness of time, and when fullness comes, it comes all at once. Think back to the stories of your life, the moments that changed everything. Did they not often arrive without warning? The day you met someone who altered your path forever. The hour you heard words that reshaped your heart. The moment when you stepped into a place, and suddenly nothing was the same again. Breakthrough has always been sudden. It has always been surprising. And yet once it happens, it feels inevitable, as if the whole world was preparing you for that single second of transformation. This, beloved, is the rhythm of your journey. Long stretches of waiting followed by swift waves of change. And though the waiting can feel cruel, the suddenness is sweet enough to heal every wound left by the delay. You may have thought you were standing still, but you were not standing still. You were being aligned, being refined, being prepared for the suddenness of what is now at your doorstep. You see, breakthrough does not knock on the doors of the comfortable. It visits the weary. It chooses the ones who held on when letting go was easier. It comes to the souls who bent but did not break, who walked through fire but did not let the flames consume them. Breakthrough chooses those who dared to believe when nothing around them gave reason to believe. It comes to those who still carried hope in the folds of their spirit, even when their hands were empty. That is why it is coming to you. Not because you have been perfect, but because you have been faithful. Not because you never stumbled, but because you rose again each time you did. Not because you have every answer, but because you dared to ask the questions. Breakthrough is not a reward for the flawless. It is the crown for the enduring, the gift for the patient, the song for the silenced, the dawn for those who dared to walk through midnight. And when it arrives, you must be ready to embrace it with both arms wide. You cannot shrink back in fear. You cannot doubt its reality. You cannot question whether you deserve it. You must step forward boldly, for the suddenness of breakthrough does not give time for hesitation. Opportunity does not linger at the door. It rushes in and demands that you move with it. Healing does not wait for you to believe it fully. It sweeps in and you must walk in it. Blessing does not tiptoe. It overwhelms, and you must learn to stand under the weight of abundance as firmly as you once stood under the weight of struggle. Do not let smallness of thinking rob you of the greatness of what is coming. Do not let voices of the past tell you you cannot handle the suddenness of favor. Stand tall, beloved, because what is falling upon you suddenly is not a burden. It is a lifting, a rising, a soaring. You have carried heaviness long enough. Now you will carry glory. I know the fear that creeps in when I speak these words. I know the voice that whispers, but what if it doesn't happen for me? What if I believe and am disappointed? What if I hope and my hope is crushed? Beloved, listen to me. Hope is never wasted. Faith is never wasted. Expectation is never wasted. Even when the timeline confuses you, even when the method surprises you, even when the path bends in ways you did not expect, the end is always the same. You will see goodness. You will see mercy. You will see breakthrough, and it will come suddenly, so suddenly that you will laugh through your tears saying, "How quickly it turned." You have been at the edge of despair so long that your heart has forgotten the taste of sudden joy, but it is coming to remind you. It is coming to baptize your soul in laughter. It is coming to remind you that life is not only sorrow, it is sudden joy, sudden love, sudden peace, sudden restoration, and that restoration is standing on your doorstep even now. Look at the river, how it flows gently and then suddenly crashes into a waterfall. Look at the sky, how it lingers in stillness, and then suddenly splits with lightning. Look at the earth, how it seems quiet, and then suddenly shakes with power. Nature itself teaches us this truth. Suddenness is the signature of transformation. You are no different. Your life is not doomed to a slow crawl of half answers and faint victories. No, your life is written with crescendos, with explosions of grace, with suddenness that lifts you higher than you dreamed you could climb. And when it happens, you will stand in awe not only of what has changed, but of how swiftly it changed. The sickness that lingered for years will vanish overnight. The closed door that would not move will swing wide in a single moment. The loneliness that seemed endless will be broken by the sudden arrival of companionship. The scarcity that defined you will be overtaken by sudden overflow. And when it does, you will not simply say, "I am blessed." You will say, "I am overwhelmed, I am overtaken, I am transformed." And remember, beloved, suddenness does not mean chaos. It means timing. It means orchestration. It means that the unseen hand has been moving every piece, aligning every detail, arranging every step until suddenly it all converges at once. What looks sudden to you has been in preparation for years. What feels unexpected to you has been written into eternity from the beginning. What shocks you into awe has been heaven's plan all along. That is why you can trust it. That is why you can rest in it. Because though it may seem to appear out of nowhere, it is coming out of everywhere, out of the prayers you prayed, out of the tears you cried, out of the faith you held. It is all coming together, suddenly, beautifully, undeniably, and it is yours. So do not let despair whisper lies into your ear. Do not let doubt steal the seed of expectation. Do not let the delays convince you that destiny has forgotten your name. Your name is written in the promise. Your future is sealed in the suddenness. Your life is marked for breakthrough, and nothing, hear me, nothing can stop it. And when it arrives, stand tall, shout with joy, dance with abandon, because you will have walked through the night and arrived at dawn. And dawn always comes suddenly. One moment the world is cloaked in darkness, and then suddenly the horizon bursts with light. That is the image of your life. That is the promise before you. Your breakthrough is not far, beloved. It is here, and it will happen suddenly. Beloved, there are seasons when the heart grows weary from stretching itself across the vast plains of hope. You have walked through valleys so deep that you wondered if your steps were sinking into silence. You have climbed hills so steep that your breath caught in your chest, and you wondered if the summit even existed. Yet here you are, still standing, still breathing, still reaching for something beyond the weight of this moment. And I tell you, the reward of such endurance is not meager, it is not delayed endlessly, it is not forgotten. No, the reward is breakthrough, and breakthrough is already upon you. It does not creep in timidly, but it rushes in with the force of a mighty river. It does not ask for your permission, because it has already been ordained, and when it arrives, it will not announce itself with whispers. It will roar into your life with suddenness, so swift, so undeniable, that your soul will leap to catch up with the reality unfolding before your eyes. Think of how the seed bursts through the soil. For days, weeks, months, it lies beneath the surface unseen, silently gathering strength, silently drinking in the unseen waters, silently preparing to pierce the dark. To the eye above, it seems as if nothing is happening, as if the soil has swallowed it whole. But beneath, life is stirring. And then, in a single day, in a single hour, in a single moment, the green shoot breaks through the ground suddenly. You could not predict the exact second. You could not schedule its arrival. But when the time came, nothing could stop it. This is how your breakthrough is coming. Quietly prepared, divinely ordered, invisibly nourished, until suddenly it bursts forth into sight, and there is no denying it. You are the seed that has been buried, and the world has mistaken your burial for your end. But you were never buried to die. You were planted to rise, and rise you shall suddenly. You must not despise your waiting, beloved, for waiting is not punishment. Waiting is preparation. The butterfly does not hate the cocoon, because the cocoon is the place of transformation. The child in the womb is not delayed, but protected, formed, fashioned for the day of release. Your waiting has been a womb, not a grave. It has been a chamber of shaping, a place where character was forged, where resilience was birthed, where faith was stretched. And now, the hour is drawing near when the womb releases what it has carried, when the cocoon splits open to reveal the wings. You have been hidden for a season, but you are about to be revealed suddenly. And when you are revealed, you will not emerge as who you were when you entered the waiting. You will come forth radiant, strengthened, whole, transformed by the very delays that once threatened to break you. There is a rhythm to divine timing, and though it often clashes with our own urgency, it is never wrong. You wanted the door open last year, but last year your strength was not ready. You wanted the healing yesterday, but yesterday your faith was not steady enough to sustain it. You wanted the answer long ago, but long ago your heart was not softened to receive it. But today the soil is ready. Today the heart is prepared. Today the faith is steady. Today you stand at the brink of suddenly. You are closer now than you have ever been. And I urge you, do not step back, do not shrink, do not let the weariness of waiting rob you of the wonder of sudden breakthrough. For when it comes, it will not only meet your expectations, it will surpass them, overflow them, eclipse them. You asked for enough, but what is coming is more than enough. You prayed for an open door, but what is coming is a gate wide enough to usher you into places you never imagined you could stand, and it will happen suddenly. I must tell you, beloved, that when sudden breakthrough comes, it will not make sense to everyone around you. Some will marvel, some will rejoice, but some will look at you with confusion, even envy, and ask, how did this happen so fast? How did they rise so suddenly? They will not know of the nights you stayed awake, whispering prayers into the silence. They will not see the tears that watered your unseen roots. They will not feel the weight of the battles you fought alone. To them it will look like sudden success, but to you it will feel like long-awaited justice. To them it will seem like overnight blessing, but to you it will be the fulfillment of years of perseverance. And that is why you must never measure your worth by their understanding. They cannot comprehend what they did not witness. They cannot interpret what they did not live. But you will know, deep in your bones you will know this. Suddenness was born out of endurance. This breakthrough was purchased with perseverance. This joy was carved from sorrow. Do not fear the magnitude of what is coming. Sometimes we shrink from the very blessing we prayed for, because it arrives larger than we imagined. We ask for enough to survive, but breakthrough arrives with enough to thrive. We ask for healing in one place, but breakthrough brings wholeness in every place. We ask for a single door, but breakthrough throws open windows and gates we did not even know existed. Do not fear abundance, beloved. Do not fear joy. Do not fear the sudden shift into blessing. You have dwelt so long in survival that abundance may feel unfamiliar, but it is your inheritance. You were not born to scrape by. You were born to soar. And when the suddenness lifts you, you must allow yourself to be carried. Do not sabotage what is meant to free you. Do not apologize for what is meant to crown you. Do not diminish what is meant to magnify your life. Stand in the fullness of it, for this sudden breakthrough is not an accident, it is destiny catching up with you. I know you have asked, but why now? Why so suddenly, after so long? Because there is an appointed time, and the appointed time is now. The fruit does not ripen when the tree demands it, but when the season commands it. The tide does not rise when the shore desires it, but when the moon calls it. Breakthrough does not bow to your impatience, but it will never deny your faith. And faith has carried you here to the appointed moment where suddenly the fruit is ripe, suddenly the tide is high, suddenly the heavens declare, now. This is why it feels sudden to you. It is the collision of divine timing with your persistent faith. It is the meeting place of unseen preparation and desperate expectation. And when these two collide, nothing can hold back the release. That is why you must walk in readiness, because the release does not trickle in softly. It breaks in suddenly, like lightning across a midnight sky. Do not mistake the silence before suddenness for absence. Often the quietest moments precede the loudest breakthroughs. The farmer sees no movement in the field until suddenly the harvest is ready. The sky holds its breath before suddenly splitting with thunder. Your life may feel silent now, as though nothing is stirring, but this silence is the gathering before the eruption. It is the inhale before the mighty exhale. It is the stillness before the great shaking. Do not lose heart in the silence, for silence is not abandonment, it is anticipation. And soon, very soon, the silence will break suddenly, and you will stand in awe of how swiftly the barren field became fruitful, how swiftly the closed sky rained, how swiftly the dry bones stood to their feet. Suddenly, that is how quickly it can change. That is how quickly it will change for you. And when it does, beloved, remember that breakthrough is not just for you, it is through you. What is coming to you is meant to ripple outward, to bless others, to ignite faith in those who are watching your life as a testimony. Someone is watching you hold on in silence, and when your breakthrough arrives suddenly, it will give them courage to believe for their own. Someone is weary, ready to give up, and your sudden shift will remind them that delay is not denial. Someone is questioning if miracles still happen, and your sudden transformation will silence their doubts with undeniable proof. You will be the evidence. Your life will be the sermon. Your breakthrough will not only set you free, it will set others ablaze with faith. And this, beloved, is why it must be sudden, because suddenness stirs wonder, suddenness awakens hope, suddenness shocks the soul into belief. You are about to be a living testimony of what sudden breakthrough looks like, and it will leave others whispering, if it can happen for them, it can happen for me. So walk boldly now. Do not drag your feet as though nothing is on the horizon. Do not carry yourself with the heaviness of despair. Straighten your shoulders, lift your head, let your eyes shine with expectation, because the truth has been spoken, and it cannot be revoked. Your breakthrough is here, and it will happen suddenly. When the clock turns and the moment arrives, it will not knock softly, it will surge in, unstoppable, undeniable, uncontainable. And you will stand in the center of it, hands lifted, heart trembling, tears streaming, and you will say, "This is the moment I waited for, this is the promise fulfilled, this is the suddenness of God." And from that day forward, you will never doubt again that what is written for you will always come, not late, not lacking, but suddenly, gloriously, and with more power than you ever dreamed. Beloved, I want you to listen closely now, because these words are meant to settle deep within your spirit and become the fire that keeps you moving forward. There is a rhythm to destiny, a sacred drumbeat that cannot be silenced. And though it sometimes beats slowly, almost imperceptibly, there comes a moment when it quickens, when it rises, when it bursts forth like a song that has been waiting too long to be sung. That is the moment of suddenly, the moment when your breakthrough shatters the silence and announces itself without apology. You may have thought the rhythm had left you, that the melody of your life had gone flat. But hear me, the music is still playing, and it is about to swell into a crescendo that will carry you into your breakthrough. What once seemed like dissonance will resolve into harmony, and you will understand why it all had to unfold as it did. For suddenly the song will make sense. Consider how the storm clouds gather, heavy and unrelenting, darkening the skies until hope itself feels hidden. You may stand under that sky, drenched in rain, wondering if the sun will ever shine again. But in the blink of an eye, in a breath, in a sudden burst, the clouds break, the light pours through, and the very storm that frightened you becomes the backdrop for the most radiant rainbow. That is what your life is about to feel like. You have stood beneath storm clouds longer than you thought possible. You have braved winds that bent your spirit. You have endured rains that washed over you with no mercy. And yet here you are, not broken, not erased, but waiting still. And because you waited, you will see the rainbow. Because you endured, you will witness the breakthrough. Because you held on, suddenly the clouds will part, and the light will return with a brilliance greater than any darkness you endured. Breakthrough, beloved, is not a trickle, it is a flood. It is not a whisper, it is a roar. And it does not come politely, asking for your permission. It comes with authority, with force, with suddenness that overwhelms every doubt, every fear, every shadow that tried to cling to you. It is the opening of prison doors that you thought were sealed forever. It is the loosening of chains you grew accustomed to carrying. It is the voice calling your name from the depths of silence, saying, "Rise, it is time." And when it comes, it will feel as though time itself bends in your favor, as though the years of waiting collapse into a single moment of release. You will wonder how you endured so long without it, but you will not question why it came, because deep inside you will know this was the appointed moment, the sudden shift written into your destiny before you ever